Assalamualaikum and good evening everyone, and welcome to Culture Expectation versus Reality Sharing Session. My name is Mastura and I will be your moderator for today. Alright, untuk petang ini program kita ni santai-santai saja, in which we going to listen the experience, priceless experience from our uh, panel. Okay, ada dua panel kita pada petang ni yang kata apa, they are away from homeland, living in Australia and from living in Australia and also in Scotland. Okay, so moving along with this session, okay, without further ado, saya akan perkenalkan, okay, bio kita punya panelist for today. Okay, our first panelist, okay, Puan Mahmudah Haji Muhammad Noor, graduated from International Islamic University Malaysia, IIUM, with both honorary bachelor's law degree and master degree of comparative law. Living in Aberdeen, Scotland, Puan Mahmudah at present, on top of managing her Noor School in Aberdeen, also owns and manage her business called One World Lingo, OWL. Okay, selepas ini jika ada soalan tentang Noor School as well as One World Lingo, bolehlah bertanya kepada beliau. Alright, next for our second panelist, Puan Wan Kamariah binti Hashim, studied accounting in Nottingham Trent University, UK. Then she went to London to continue professional accounting for SCCA. She also trained under chartered accounting firm in London about a year when Proton came to scout for a new recruit in London. She moved to Sydney, Australia 10 to 11 years ago and has worked with many companies and industries in the 20 years in Australia. And now she is active as financial accountant in Newcastle, Australia. All right, let us welcome both of them in our sharing session for today. Okay, terima kasih Puan Mahmudah and Puan Kamariah. Selamat datang, welcome to our session today. Okay, kita juga ada sebentar lagi kita juga ada children, ya, anak-anak Puan Kamariah dan Puan Mahmudah akan turut serta, okay, berkongsi tentang pengalaman mereka tinggal di luar negara, ya. Okay, dan mungkin nak berkongsi juga tentang pendidikan, okay, sistem pendidikan di sana. Okay, let us continue our session for this evening. Okay, exploring and discovering new areas is usually an exciting and enjoyable experience. Moving to another country, on the other hand, okay, adds a new dimension to our life. For a variety of reasons, people relocate to another country. It could be for professional reasons or simply for the thrill of discovery. We'd like to hear from our first panelist, Puan Mahmudah, about what led her to live in another country despite being a Malaysian. Silakan Puan.
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Professional study wajah ambil datang sini kali. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat petang, ya, pada semua. Minta maaf saya tak apa kan, orang kata campurization, saya akan cakap Melayu campur-campur dengan English. Inilah masalah bila dah duduk lama di luar negara kan, even kat Malaysia pun dah macam tu. Okey. Seringkasnya nama saya panjang, Noor Mahmudah binti Muhammad Noor. Jadi dekat sini dikenali sebagai Sister Mahmudah, ataupun di tempat kerja kalau dengan locals, sebab susah nak sebut Mahmudah, diorang panggil Noor lah, Okey. Jadi kalau nak kata kenapa, how do we landed, we end up in Aberdeen, macam outer space kan, orang tak pernah dengar kat mana Aberdeen ni kan. So bila tengok poster tu, okay, maybe next kita tengok, okay, ni kita punya introduction. So dekat mana, ya? Where are this? Aberdeen, Scotland. Sebab biasa kan kalau my mum senang kalau tanya anak kat mana, oh kat London. Padahal London dengan Aberdeen jauh 500 batu. Ya, kalau tengok map UK tu, Scotland dekat atas, kat utara, and London tu dekat selatan. So it's actually very far. Okay, tapi kami dalam UK lah. Dan di sinilah kan Aberdeen is in Scotland, north east of Scotland. So the map yang ada yang frame hitam tu, kalau tengok Aberdeen dekat bahagian tu lah, tepi laut, very near to North Sea. Okay, so kalau ikutkan atas North Sea tu boleh sampai ke Iceland, boleh sampai ke ke Antartik lah ya. Okay, that is where Aberdeen is. Okay, saya akan share sebab ni saya pun tanyakan dekat mana Newcastle. Sebenarnya saya pun baru dah lama tak tengok geografi kan. So bila tengok balik, oh dekat sini kawan saya ni duduk dekat Newcastle. Okay, Kamariah, okay, boleh explain better daripada saya lah kan. Because that is where she is.
So
Puan Kamariah saya bagi pada Puan Kamariah.
So Newcastle ni memang ramai orang tak tahu. Dekat Australia sebab tak ramai orang student daripada Malaysia datang ke Australia. Masa saya dulu pun kebanyakan student semua pergi UK ataupun US. There's only one student, my classmate that came here before to Newcastle. In UK also, dekat dengan Puan Mahmudah punya tempat tu ada juga down south, place called Newcastle. So bila I mention Newcastle, a lot of my friends thought dekat UK, tapi dekat Australia ni, that's not too far from Sydney. So we're about 2.5 hours drive north from Sydney. So, not in the city itself, but, macam, kalau macam kat Malaysia, kira macam Kuantan lah lebih kurang. Kuantan ke KL kan macam 2.5 jam kan? Betul tak? Something like that.
Something like that. Almost 3 hours itu juga kurang lah.
Macam tu lah. Tapi kalau macam, so when people come to see us, that's the airport they will come through, Sydney Airport. So macam orang, for the students, it's easier to think about Sydney. Itu tempat yang dekat lah, yang dah biasa. Okay, back to you, Mahmudah.
Okay, thanks. Okay, sebab kan kalau datang ke Scotland, kalau dalam UK memang ada tempat nama Newcastle. Tapi kalau dekat Malaysia pun kita ada Newcastle, Kota Baru kan. And then dekat Australia ada Perth, dekat Scotland pun ada Perth. Okay, jadi banyak nama tempat yang di UK ni memang akan ada juga di tempat-tempat lain dalam dekat Australia ataupun dekat US dan sebagainya. Jadi kami ni di Aberdeen, okay, Aberdeen north-east of Scotland and also north-east of United Kingdom. Okay, okay. So kalau kita tengok the next slide, okay. Sebab kita bercakap tentang culture kan, culture expectation. Jadi kalau kita bercakap pasal culture, what is culture ni? Apa yang sebenarnya kan? Sebab bila kami datang kat sini, kita panggil Mak Saleh kita kata Mak Saleh, kita kata orang putih kan. So memang kita akan nampak berbeza lah kan. Jadi kalau kita di sini, kalau kita cakap pasal culture, are we more concerned of being a Malay or kita more of being a Muslim? Sebab saya datang dah memang berhijab kan, dah kat sini panggil hijab. Oh, dekat sini dia panggil orang pakai tudung ni hijabis. Jadi macam mana kan kita dengan custom, dengan tradition, dengan adat, is it what we call culture? Ataupun kita mengamalkan our Islamic way of life? So is it Islamic culture, Islamic tradition? Jadi dekat situlah kan. Jadi bagi saya apa pun memang ada, ada overlapping kan. Ada overlapping dan ada nilai-nilai kita dan yang mana kita patut the way we live our life lah, insyaAllah. Okay. Jadi walaupun kami di sini duduk di negeri orang putih ni kan, di western country, tapi alhamdulillah. Okay, kalau kita tengok the next slide, okay, sebab benda ni ada berkait kan. The next slide. Cik Wan. Okay. Jadi kalau kita katakan duduk dekat ni kan, okay, background saya ni saya letak gambar salji kan, sebab kalau di Aberdeen ni orang selalu relate dengan sejuk. Memang sejuk dekat sini. Kata tempat ni kalau di Malaysia kita nak rasa sejuk kita kena put on air condition kan. Kalau you datang ke sini, insyaAllah ada rezeki, keluar rumah je dah sejuk. So air condition ni all over tau, dekat luar. Kalau nak panas kena duduk dalam rumah. Sebab memang sejuk. Okay. Tapi kan other than that, sebab kita duduk di western countries dan sebab kita cakap dengan culture, dengan kita budaya kita, kita banyak berkait dengan makanan kan. Jadi mesti kita risau. halal food kan. Sebab memanglah dekat sini ada memang a little bit kekurangan dari segi nak dapat access of halal food. Restoran mana yang ada jual halal, makanan halal kan. Itu semua memang kita kena be very particular dan memang kita kena tengok betul-betul kan. Dan macam mana kita nak mengerjakan solat, okay, sebab kita as a Muslim, kita nak semayang. Tapi you all tengok tak the latest, kalau dekat UK, the latest news kan, bangunan yang dapat masuk shortlisted as one of the most beautiful building in UK, okay, is masjid di Cambridge. Percaya tak? Masjid di Cambridge. It's a very well built masjid which is already accepted. Jadi kalau dari segi popularity, masjid that is nominated as the most popular. Tapi dari segi in the end the judges still opted for another building. Tapi dia still dapat tu. Okay, jadi maknanya saya nak cakap sekarang di UK lah for example ataupun di Scotland, as long as you travel to the main cities akan jumpa tempat-tempat untuk solat yang senang lah kan sebagainya. Dan kalau limitation untuk berpakaian semua kan memang alhamdulillah dekat sini berbeza sikit lah dengan France. Tidak ada, orang kata tak ada restriction lah kalau untuk pakai hijab dan sebagainya. Dan weather tu kita sesuaikan lah. Dan language barrier saya nak tekankan kan sebab macam mana kan kami landed dekat Aberdeen ni sebenarnya untuk saya teruskan ke peringkat PhD lah kan. Jadi saya dulu lecturer UIA, okay. Jadi saya nak cakap kan, kalau katalah antara anak-anak ni sekalian ni kan student-student yang dapat terpilih lah kan untuk datang ke, maknanya kalau you all dapat scholarship untuk study ke UK ataupun ke mana-mana, please have confidence in yourself, meaning that you all dah sampai satu level that you are very good actually in your English proficiency, that you are accepted to study abroad. Sebab minta maaf ya kalau sebab Puan Kamariah husbandnya orang putih kan, ni bisa exception sebab kalau ikutkan dekat sini kan, kalau kita actually our English proficiency is a lot better daripada the locals, believe it or not. Sebab dia ni cakap orang putih everyday use, kita belajar English untuk pass exam kan. So kita punya English is a lot higher level sebenarnya. So please have that confidence in yourself. Okay, insya-Allah saya doakan kalau dah ada ambition untuk belajar abroad ke luar negeri, that you shouldn't have that orang kata rasa nadiri that you have that language barrier. InsyaAllah you will be able to overcome that. Okay, have trust in yourself. Jadi saya rasa kan in this regards, saya nak share lah, saya nak minta anak saya yang 2 orang tu yang nampak tu, ni anak saya ada 6 orang, saya go by the number. Yang ada ni anak nombor 2 dengan anak nombor 4. Yang nombor 2 dari yang bongsu. Yang nombor 2 Huda, my only daughter. And yang lelaki tu Ibrahim, anak bongsu saya. Huda, Ibrahim, faham kan Umi cakap ni kan? Okay, so now
welcome Ibrahim and Huda.
Okay, adik, sorry, saya panggil Ibrahim adik. Tak apa, Ibrahim dengan Huda kalau boleh share sikit macam mana how you all being brought up here and your experience at school and now.
I don't know. You know me, yeah. Okay. So here we were brought up as so we were here. I was here since I was what, 2? But it passed one. Okay. So from 2, so I went to nursery, went to primary school, went to secondary school, went to university. So look at me. So I was thinking. So it's actually, I think we got lucky where we live. Aberdeen is really nice. Everyone's here is really nice. You do, I think, because it was 10 years ago, primary school very much was a lot of the locals. You were like the only Asian kid at first.
Roman Catholic school, remember?
Yeah, we went to Roman Catholic school, so we were literally the only Asian people in our class. Then in secondary school, hi. Secondary school, so from S1 to S6, how old are we in S1?
Maybe 12?
Yeah, so from 12 to 18, 12 to 17, 18, we went to secondary school. That one also lots of locals. Our school had a lot of white people. We didn't have a lot of colored people. I didn't think of it.
It is Aberdeen.
I'd say even less actually. We
Yeah.
had more people of color in our primary school than we did in high school and secondary school.
Yeah, because a lot of the primary school students, their parents also PhD students in our primary school. So a lot of people from other countries would come, stay for a year, 3 years, and go when their parents finish their PhD.
Except for you,
and then- You get used to the language. Once you're here, you adopt it really quickly. One thing I have to say is that if you're using specific things like public transport, if you're in our city or in some other cities, the accents, every city has an accent. So we've got in Scotland, in Aberdeen, we've got the Aberdonian accent. In Glasgow, you've got the Glaswegian accent. Then you've got the Newcastle. What's the Newcastle accent called?
Geordie.
Yeah, Geordie. And then you've got the Brums.
That is Newcastle in UK, okay? And Auntie Wan Kamariah is
Oh, sorry.
Newcastle from
I forgot to specify.
Culture Australian accent,
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah, should we talk about culture? But culture, I think it's really easy to make friends. Actually, I think a lot of people were surprised because I got to university. I was really worried that I wouldn't be able to make friends because you think university and secondary school is a lot of drinking culture. And for us, especially, we don't drink. We don't like hang out like that. But you find people. Like the people who will be your friends are the ones that don't do anything. The ones that gravitate towards you are the ones that don't do stuff like that. So I never had any friends who drank. I never had any friends who would like to go clubbing or anything. But if that's your thing, then you'll find them too, I guess. I should encourage that. But yeah. What else can you say about culture here?
Bagi adik cakap lah. Ibrahim,
Because you were the one that's actually brought up here. Born and raised,
Yes,
literally.
I'm only slightly different. The only reason I would say I'm slightly different is more so because I was also born here as well. But tapi Kuda was, she was born in Malaysia, then came here. But we still had the same, I would say we still had the same upbringing. And alhamdulillah, I definitely think that we were blessed in terms of what it was like from school to secondary school, where there was a lot of encouragement for people of color to come and be part of the different things that we have here instead of like feel separated. I definitely think it's keeping an open mind to not tell yourself that you're any different than everyone else there. That you're in the same position. You grew up with them. You're living here as well, and so yeah, I guess that's just the main way that you'd be able to connect with the people here as well. I definitely think a language barrier. If some people come here, or go to their country and they're not able to speak the language as well, there are kids that will pick up that. But inshallah, over time, you pick up the language, just like our mom said. So, and you'll be able to understand the culture a lot better. I definitely agree with Kahuda. Oh, I say Kahuda, but in terms of university as well, when it comes to finding the right people, inshallah, you find the right people when they will gravitate towards you, and how you carry yourself is very, very important. Because if people think, oh, they're like this, they enjoy that, and you don't make yourself clear, then they may think different of you. So inshallah, just if you carry yourself the way that you want to, and as a Muslim, things will naturally happen. Inshallah. So.
All right. Ibrahim, I heard that you had been one of the youngest Iqra teachers there. Can you please share with us your experience?
Oh, Alhamdulillah. Even my sister as well, she used to teach Islamic studies as well. But I definitely, it's kind of straight how I continued. Alhamdulillah, yeah. I'm in my 7th year now, which for those who are teaching probably is a tiny number, but Alhamdulillah, for me in my 20s, it's, I definitely think it feels worthwhile. Um, for me, I felt that teaching Quran is very much a blessing because I get to speak to those students who are growing up here as well. I found that a lot of the teachers here, which doesn't take anything away from them, tend to have grown up from in another country. And so a lot of the time when I was teaching, a lot of the students felt more, how would I say, like a personal connection, that they felt more open to ask me questions to do with, oh, what's it like growing up here? What's the school like? How did I deal with certain situations? When I was asked about fasting, when I was asked about praying, you know, and it's like I'm sure that a lot of kids here would also be able to relate. For example, when we're fasting and the people at school will ask, huh? Not even water? They'll always say that one. And whenever I say that, usually, alhamdulillah, every single time the kids will be like, oh, yes, teacher, that's exactly what they said. That's exactly what they said.
And fasting during summer for 20 hours.
Wow, 20 hours.
20
Yeah.
hours.
20 hours.
Yes.
So I just remember that, alhamdulillah, it's an opportunity with the training that I got at the mosque school that I had, that we were able to go into teaching. And yeah, what really kept me going was the idea of be the person that you didn't have when you were younger. So alhamdulillah, the kind of like having a role model in terms of, actually growing up here and knowing that we turned out good, inshallah.
What's your name?
Yeah, because some people might think that growing up in a Western country may go the opposite way. That we'll lose a part of ourselves, a part of our culture, when we go to another country. But alhamdulillah, I like to think that we still managed to carry that with us while also being a part of the society here as well, inshallah. So yeah.
All right. We also have Danish Hazlan, our student representative from SMK, Datuk Haji Muhammad Reza. He may have a question for Huda and as well as Ibrahim. Do you have any question for Ibrahim and also Huda, Danish?
Where's this kid from? Is he in Malaysia?
Yes, from the school.
Yes, I'm from Malaysia.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure what to ask, honestly. Let's see here, because I've been in that situation where you live in another country. I've actually lived in Australia before, actually. When I was in, yeah, I actually have. When I was 10 years old, it was definitely not easy.
Why is that British? Excuse me. So whereabout were you in Australia? Whereabout were you then?
I was in Sydney.
Okay.
I was in. I can't remember what. I was actually there only for 3 months, so it wasn't that long.
Okay.
I can't remember what it's called. I think it's called Ryde in Sydney, the place where I lived.
Yes, that's right.
Right. That's actually where my brother lives now. Actually, he lives in Ryde right now.
Okay, that's a nice place.
Yeah. I think I did struggle a bit going to school there because like Ibrahim said, being the only Asian kid in that school was difficult. Most people just saw me as an Asian. I don't know. It was really hard to make friends there, honestly.
Right. Okay.
Oh, that's a shame. I'm really sorry about
I
that.
actually also dealt with racism as well.
Yeah. I feel like
being a Muslim, they would just like to, call us a terrorist. It's really not
So how
easy.
long ago was this, Danish?
I was 10 years old. It was only 3 months there.
7 years ago? About
Yeah,
7 years ago.
Yes.
Unfortunately,
It's at the 9/11, isn't
yeah,
it? It's
I mean,
the,
my husband is my husband. This is Adam Smith, my husband, Jeremy,
Hello.
Omar, and
Hi, buddy.
Isabella Safia. So my husband is Aussie, he's orang putih, but
Oh.
my experience, I've lived in the UK. I've lived there for about 8 or 9 years. I also I was a student. I worked there training under chartered accountancy and work proper work and then work here. And I found that I never faced any discrimination against my race whilst I was living in the UK. I only faced it when I was here in Australia, unfortunately. But saying that, it is not general. Obviously, my husband, he's he loves the ocean and all that. And, it is, unfortunately, you're right, Danish. There are a little bit of discrimination here against Asian, against non-whites. There's quite a few of them that are very much like whites only.
I'd say it's past 9/11, Muslim especially.
Yes, I agree with that.
I agree. Yeah.
Mm.
I think we got lucky in the UK. The UK, the culture here is that it's very much what's the best to say? Silent judgment. Judgment. Does that make sense?
Oh, yes.
So they're not very much about like openly saying bad things, but they will give you a dirty look, or they'll be like they'll look you up and down and walk away. They don't really say to your face what they think, but they will definitely look you up and down, or they'll like sort of avoid you, which has happened before. Especially it happened again. Like I haven't experienced it for a long time, and then COVID happened, and the moment they see an Asian person anywhere,
Chinese.
and it's like, come on, like my hygiene is probably better than yours. Like, it's ridiculous. I think we also got lucky because in secondary school, especially to the person who's talking about Islamophobia, our school was very protective over Muslims. So anything that would happen, anything that would happen, the school would like take immediate action.
Yeah.
So like once there was just a rumor that this girl wanted to try pull off other girls' hijabs, or like there was a boy who tried to pull off a girl's hijab. He got punished pretty severely. And like our school was really quite strict about that. So we got lucky in that sense. But I'm not going to deny that there's also sometimes you wonder if it's very. Is it like a silent discrimination? Is that the best way to say it?
Can
It's
I
true.
add a little bit on that? Yeah, I think the situation in Scotland, or particularly in Aberdeen, we are quite lucky. We're quite fortunate about it. And in as much as I have been involved before with the non-governmental organization, the NGOs and things like that, working together with the police, working together with NHS, working together with EHRC, Equality and Human Rights Commission, things like that. So yes, I think I've been poking my hands in everywhere. It's like an octopus, But I feel that the exposure, because I'm such a nosy person, trying to know this and that. One of the main reasons is that so that I know how to protect myself, and also being good, in good relation with the police. Alhamdulillah, that allows me to have direct contact as well with them, and also I get first-hand information. So in Aberdeen, I can tell you that we are pretty safe, because kalau jalan dekat town Aberdeen, wherever there is the lamppost, insyaAllah ada camera. So if you are being harassed or anything, the police can easily detect. And also in year 2010, the Equality Act has been passed in UK. Even though the implementation taking place quite slowly, tapi the equality strands, maknanya dia protect in terms of your religion, your gender, your race and things like that. Jangan cakap lah kan LGBT semua included lah but then because of that law, orang fikir banyak kali lah nak before they want to act as a racist or try to discriminate you. Because if you, kalau dalam bus katakan one example that one of my my friend lah, masa tu dia datang sini buat masters, dia pakai tudung kan macam kita ni kan, pakai tudung ada pin sana, pin sini, pin macam pin kan. Maknanya tudung tu bukan solid kan, kadang-kadang kita pakai pin tudung yang sarung kan, pakai pin kan. So masa dalam bus dia a bit lah, masa tu kan it was early lah, more than 10 years ago, okay. Tak pernah lah saya dengar jadi dekat Aberdeen. Dia datang rumah saya menggigil-gigil masa tu. Dia kata, Kak Ida, dia punya tudung kena sentap. Dia pakai pin kan, terbuka tau. Jadi saya masa tu memang ada direct contact dengan polis. Terus telefon polis. Polis terus check the bus, terus dapat kamera dalam bus. Percaya tak?
No.
That's how effective it is. Then of course orang tu boleh kena charge, okay. However, my friend ni sebab dia dah nak balik Malaysia, dia kata dia tak nak keluar masuk balai polis, jadi dia tak proceed. However, because of that incident, okay, a more tightened security has been implemented by the first bus to make sure benda ni tak jadi lagi, sebab dia berlaku dalam public transport kan. So maknanya kan saya nak cakap lah kan, insyaAllah lah kalau sebab pengalaman saya duduk di Scotland dah 20 tahun kan, Alhamdulillah memang tak adalah rasa threaten sangat-sangat. Masa kami datang mula-mula, Ibrahim was born in 2001, berlakunya the September 11. Masa tu saya pregnant lagi lah, dia belum lahir lagi masa tu, dia lahir 2 weeks after September 11. Masa tu memang terasalah sikit orang renung tengok-tengok kan. But Alhamdulillah tak ada kena macam saya pergi Manchester, tak sampai 2 hari saya duduk di Manchester, saya kena SPAD Act. Percaya tak? Orang ludah. Tapi kita tak inilah, benda tu macam dia provoke, they try to provoke you. So ignore je. Demi orang perangai macam tu jangan layan. Kalau kita layan, kita pun sama nanti susah kan. But this all happened before 2010, okay? Jadi bagi saya sekarang it is more control, it is more protected lah insyaAllah. So Islamic phobia ataupun tu semua tu yes memang kita risau, tapi kalau dalam Aberdeen ni insyaAllah lah, macam Huda bilang tadi atau insyaAllah Alhamdulillah we are a little bit more protected insyaAllah. That's how I feel.
Okay, terima kasih. Thank you Puan Mahmudah, because kita ada banyak lagi soalan, we have a lot of questions. So kita akan teruskan sesi pada petang ini ya dengan soalan kepada Puan Kamariah, okay? Untuk beliau share pengalaman beliau di sana, di Australia juga. Okay. Untuk Puan Kamariah, okay, living outside of your own country can be a fascinating and wonderful experience, but it also has significant implications for one's life. Alright, now we would like to ask to Puan Kamariah, okay, what are the challenges living in another country and how do you cope with the challenges? Silakan Puan.
Terima kasih Puan Mastura. Assalamualaikum semua. Saya akan cakap English dan juga Melayu juga lah sebab senang sikit kan. Tapi
boleh, no problem.
No problem.
Keluarga saya macam saya tak pandai sangat cakap Melayu. So saya masukkan sekali. Jadi duduk di sini, di Australia ni memang kita duduk jauh daripada negara kita, memang banyak challenges dia. Sebab saya rasa macam semua orang akan tahu bila dah duduk lama di luar negara, kita mesti rindu pada keluarga kita. Jadi macam especially COVID ni kan, saya dah tak balik ke Malaysia sejak tahun. Jadinya saya punya flight, saya balik June 2019. So kira dah about, how long is that?
2 years.
About 2 years. So kita orang try balik every year to see my family. So I ada adik-beradik 10 orang, so and my mum pun ada lagi kan. So my flight that I booked, I think it was May 2020?
2020.
So and my sister was supposed to come and spend time with me about March or April. Itu pun cancel. So that's the challenges. The first one is like missing your family. Macam I dulu kat Puan Mahmudah, I duduk kat UK. So I kerja dengan Proton dulu, and I was lucky enough Proton hantar I pergi kerja di Lotus Cars, one of the subsidiary in Norwich kat UK. So I duduk still about 2 years. Lepas tu I kena transfer kat sini, and masa saya nak datang sini tu, I was quite reluctant datang sini sebab kontrak saya kat sana 3 tahun, and I was actually having a good time duduk sana. And sebab I belajar kat University Trent kat Nottingham, pada I macam Nottingham tu macam my second kampung. I dah biasa kan. Jadi bila nak datang sini tu, I was quite reluctant. Tapi dekat dah jodoh dengan suami saya.
Why?
So saya kena hantar kat sini dan nangis tak datang. Sebab saya nak lagi. Tapi bila datang sini, my family cakap dekat saya, tak apa Kamariah, you datang sini, at least the travel is only 8 hours. Macam Mahmudah can confirm, lagi jauh nak pergi UK tu 12 jam kalau direct flight. At least kat sini 8 jam je. And true enough, I duduk sini memang I balik memang more frequent duduk balik Malaysia. So that's the thing, the keeping up relationship and meeting up. And like Puan Elina, Puan Mahmudah, we all dulu sekolah satu MRSM, and now my friends kat Malaysia, not during COVID lah, before that, dia orang selalu jumpa minum kopi, lunch sekali. I am very jealous with that. So, but luckily with this COVID, blessing in disguise kan, kita orang semua boleh jumpa sekarang ni. I boleh join on Friday night, on apa-apa hal pun I boleh join. So one blessing in disguise of this COVID-19. And sekarang pun my family boleh jumpa every week, every night. In fact sekarang ni kita buat tahlil semua kan, jumpa on Zoom. So that's a good thing. The other challenges kat sini, obviously I think for the students when they're going overseas, obviously that's the challenges untuk bahasa. Macam kat sini, bila you duduk dekat negara, mana negara pun lah, you pergi negara baru, the culture is always going to be a bit slightly different. Macam dekat sini is very different than UK and Malaysia. Macam dekat sini kalau katalah dekat kelas, they don't expect you to panggil dia orang by cikgu ke apa, you just call their name aja. Macam my children pun, what do you call your teacher? What?
Like Miss, Mrs.
Yeah, dia orang panggil Miss or
No,
Mrs.
aunties. No.
But with the friends, and dia orang tak pakai lah, and very respectful. I try juga lah ajar dia orang cakap panggil respect. Kalau kawan-kawan tu panggil auntie or uncle, but semua orang panggil nama je. Even so that's the culture. So bila I datang sini dulu, for me, when you actually go to a new country, it's always good to find the people yang you kenal lah. Macam, so kalau macam you students, kalau pergi kat mana-mana country, try cari the students yang your senior yang dah pergi sana. Usually they can introduce to you dekat network kat situ. So masa I pergi UK dulu, memang kita ada ramai students yang dah pergi sana. Kita akan tidur rumah diorang dulu, lepas tu cari rumah untuk kita orang. Lepas tu diorang lah yang ajar dekat mana nak cari daging halal, dekat mana nak semayang, apa semua. Masa I datang sini, I dah kerja. So yang my friend yang tolong tu, yang Proton hantar sebelum tu, dia lah yang introduce to the friends, and Adam's also working at the same company. So he helped. Maybe not relevant to new kids, but it's always good to actually find someone that has been here. They will macam my support system kat sini. The challenges kat sini macam makan apa semua tu kan, dengan cari kawan. The people that has been here, dia orang lah yang tolong cakap, okay, dia orang introduce kawan-kawan yang dah ada sebelum ni, sebab kita ada similarity sikit kan daripada Malaysia apa-apa semua tu. So that's the thing. That's true. Anything else?
No, I tell everybody to go to Pahentian Island. I love Pahentian Island.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
so we do miss a lot Malaysia. My family loves Malaysia, and you sometimes you don't realize how lucky you are in Malaysia. Malaysia punya resort, Malaysia punya holiday place are really nice compared to other places, and kat sini it's very expensive. Kalau mana-mana you nak pergi holiday memang mahal kat sini, tapi the level of service you get dengan tempat dia is not that very nice. So we all suka holiday kat Malaysia sebab the memang the beach is really beautiful, and makan pun sedap.
Oh, you miss the food.
And just now when I mentioned about discrimination, I do realize Australia ni is a bit different. It's a bit sebab Australia ni bukan originally tempat orang putih. Dia asal dia orang Aboriginal yang datang kat sini pun orang putih tu pun datang colonize the country. Jadi lepas tu dia orang tak cukup penduduk. Australia ni besar. Tapi penduduk Australia ni kalau I naik flight daripada tempat I ni Sydney nak pergi Malaysia 5 jam setengah tu is purely still dalam Australia lagi. 5 jam setengah tu baru nak cross, nak sampai the top north of Australia, belum masuk negara lain lagi. Besar. Tapi kita punya population kat sini cuma 20 million aja. Sama dengan Malaysia. Roughly the same. Tapi negara, jadi diorang tak cukup orang. Jadi what they do is they want buat migration system, they want bring people in, and that's a skill. So Australia is a good place for you if you decide to come in, if you've got the qualifications and you've got the professional, because they all go by your skills. But there is also a lot of the migrants are also at certain times come from Europe countries, and there is this perception that some of them actually want the whites only to be here. Obviously not all of them, and also the problem kat sini tu sebab banyak yang orang-orang Islam yang masuk daripada sini tu datangnya daripada sebab negara-negara Middle East bila dia orang ada sebab bila dia orang ada perang tu semua kan, yang datang kat sini tu semuanya refugees. Tak pun bukan genuine refugees yang datang kat sini, tapi dia orang datang kat sini just to actually get the orang kata untuk dapatkan dia orang punya, sebab Australia macam lah, dia orang ada welfare system kan, kalau you very good welfare. Jadi unfortunately ada separuh orang yang menggunakan abuse that. Jadi kita punya reputation as Muslim is a little bit tarnished. But it's not generalization, but in that sense bila dia orang tengok orang Islam, dia orang tengok dia orang macam you pelajar, like So for me, the challenges is that you be yourself. I have always been a hard worker. I bila kerja jadi macam I kerja memang I kerja betul lah, and I think in the students that is no problem. You go there, you actually belajar, and you actually prove that you're good at what you do, and that's it. There's no issues at all. So I don't know whether I've answered all the questions. Have I answered all the questions about the challenges?
All right.
Okay. I think that should be it. Like, kan boleh sambung lagi sekarang.
Alright, okay. Terima kasih Puan Kamariah. Okay, satu pengkongsian yang sangat menarik ya untuk para pelajar kita khususnya, untuk mereka sekiranya untuk sambung belajar ke sana tu, mereka boleh orang kata apa, lihat dan orang kata belajar beberapa perkara sebelum mereka ke sana. Mungkin nanti kalau mereka akan ke sana, mungkin boleh jumpa Puan Kamariah lah dekat sana.
Boleh?
Okay, terima kasih Pak Kamariah. Okay, kita ada soalan lagi nanti tapi kita back to Puan Mahmudah. Alright. Okay, untuk Puan Mahmudah, okay, people who live outside of their homeland are likely to have some consequences. Okay, the most noticeable effect and one that is very common is a longing for everything that reminds us of our family and hometown. Okay, especially when you are dealing with a problem you can't solve and don't have anyone to help you. Okay, a question to you, Puan Mahmudah. In your opinion, what are the effects, okay, of moving to another country based on your experiences? Silakan Puan.
Okay, interesting questions. Memang very relevant. Macam ni lah kan, when saya first arrive, saya datang berbeza dengan Puan Kamariah. She came here, she started studying at overseas masa muda lagi kan, masa single.
1989.
The challenges are a little bit different, maybe itu. But when I came here, saya datang dengan 3 orang anak kecil-kecil. Yang sulung masa tu baru 3 tahun, nombor 2 Huda baru 22 bulan, belum 2 tahun pun, and yang kecil nombor 3 Noor masa tu baru 5 bulan. Nah, Ibrahim belum ada lagi. Memang masa mula-mula tu datang because I was a lecturer before. Bila datang dia sampai rasa macam masuk rumah kosong, rumah lama, rumah bukannya, sebab I came here as a student kan, jadi duit tak adalah, bukan macam orang expat kan. Jadi we came here memang miskin lah kiranya. Terasa sangat lah, memang terasa sangat betapa ya Allah kata, what have I done to my family? You know, why are we here in this cold country? Everything is grey. Saya sampai macam ni lah, time autumn ni, early autumn, memang gelap, tiap hari macam nak hujan aja. Nak kata menangis tu tak tahulah nak cakap kan. Tapi nak buat macam mana, dah sampai kat sana. So kalau kita layankan perasaan kita rasa depression sebabkan dekat sini, one thing about orang dekat UK ni, kat Scotland, the first thing kalau dia cakap, oh, how are you? Nice weather today. Weather is kiranya nak mencerna inilah kan, apa ni, the conversation. Because weather dekat sini memang effect. Okay, sampai dia all ada satu penyakit dinamakan SAD, Seasonal Affected Disease. Okay, it's a syndrome. Memang especially during winter time, jadi sampai kan dia all create lampu, okay, yang boleh macam, jadi bila pasang kat rumah macam siang. Sebab we will have one time, malam ke lampu panjang, siang cuma berapa jam aja. Dan same thing masa sama, malam cuma 4 jam aja. Because kami Aberdeen ni dah kat atas kan. Okay, so when you're talking about adapting to when we move here, okay, saya masa tu dengan anak kecil-kecil memang rasa memang a bit upset lah, a bit sedih dengan semua-semua. Tapi macam saya cakap, kalau kita layankan perasaan sedih tu kan, memang kita tak moving lah. Kalau kita rasa depressed, you are not going anywhere. Sebab nak buat macam mana kan, you already here. You just have to toughen yourself, fokus balik, insyaAllah, okay. Kat sini bukannya tak ada makanan kan. Kat sini one thing, kalau you know how to spend, you can stretch your pounds a lot, okay. So and alhamdulillah the system dekat sini, they call it as a welfare system, which they akan tolong orang-orang yang below poverty punya income and things like that. So okay, those are the things lah dekat sini punya advantages, okay. Tapi kita masa tu kita tak benefit benda tu sebab kita bukan rakyat sini. Kita tak ada PR lagi masa tu. So we have to survive on our scholarship. Even though saya boleh bawa gaji datang sini, tapi consider kena masa tu Malaysian currency very low. Times 7 tau. 1 pound equals to 7 ringgit. So bayangkanlah betapa miskinnya saya. Masa tu kalau bawa 1,000, kalau bawa 2,000 pun tak sampai 300 pound. Okay, nak bayar sewa sebulan pun tak cukup. Okay, put that aside. Bagi saya macam ni lah kan, everything yang kita ada depan kita, insyaAllah ada solutionnya. Okay, kalau kita rasa susah, benda tu akan jadi susah. Tapi kalau kita rasa insyaAllah Allah bagi kita dugaan ni, sebab Allah, kita yakin that Allah tahu kita boleh tanggung and kita can drive through it. Okay, insyaAllah. Jadi kalau saya tak tahu, buka mulut. Okay, tak tahu kita tanya orang. Sebab kita bukan orang sini kan, tanya. Jangan malu-malu. Okay, betul-betul memang orang kita pepatah kita kata, malu bertanya sesat jalan. Betul tau, memang betul. Jadi jangan kita rasa sebab diorang tu orang putih kan, kita orang Melayu, kita diorang. No. They are willing to help. Okay. Sebab kita tak tanya, diorang tak tahu yang kita tak tahu. Right? Okay. So kita bertanya. And then bila kita macam tu lah saya cakap kan, bila tu yang saya memulakan aktif balik, saya mengaktifkan diri saya jadi volunteer dengan the community centers, okay, under city council. Saya tolong ajar orang-orang tua kat sini, okay. Saya jadi volunteers di masjid sampai saya jadi principal ataupun head teacher madrasah sini. Yang tu lah kan orang busybody ni kan, buat ni kan. Dan saya bila tu kan dan sebab all these things lah, maknanya di mana pun kita berada, insya-Allah, okay, jangan rasa rendah diri. InsyaAllah kita kuatkan semangat kita. Kalau kita rasa tak yakin, kita usaha, kita bercakap, okay. Kalaulah you all adik-adik, anak-anak ni kan dapat masuk universiti, okay, gunakan facility ataupun service counselling. Okay, this is another thing that saya nak share lah sebab saya masa di UIA dulu saya lecturer kan, saya pun pernah jadi pengetua residential college, saya pernah jadi lecturer, saya pernah jadi warden, okay, ataupun fellow di asrama kan. Jadi kita kan memang bila cakap pasal counselling tu kita rasa like tabu. Kita rasa benda ni berkenaan dengan mental health, kita malu, kita tak nak orang dengar, things like that kan. Tapi bila saya datang ke sini kan, bila bertemu dengan counselling tu sebenarnya something positif. Sebab kalau kita tak luahkan apa yang terbuku dalam hati kita kan, tu yang kita jadi depressed, kita tak boleh keluar daripada masalah kita. Bila kita jumpa counselling tu, kita dapat meluahkan and dia tak akan bagi kita yang akan fikir apa yang kita nak buat, insyaAllah. Okay, so kalau katalah even sekarang ni pun kan di sekolah pun insyaAllah ada counselor kan, jangan rasa malu-malu untuk pergi berjumpa dengan counselor. Because it is better for you to sort out your problem now daripada simpan meletup lagi tak guna. Okay, ni kira macam makcik-makcik lah punya nasihat kan. So hopefully anak-anak ni dapat dengar lah. Sebab saya dekat sini pun memanglah alhamdulillah, mungkin walaupun saya ni orang kata garang lah kalau anak-anak saya, sebab saya jadi pengetua madrasah, diorang suka jadi binti. Berapa lama anak murid tu kalau bila kena jumpa prinsipal, berapa lama? 1 minit, 2 minit, 5 minit, budak-budak tu akan menangis. Saya tak buat apa pun tapi dia orang boleh menangis. Kesian dekat budak tu. Jadinya memang kata saya garang lah kan. Tapi at the same time alhamdulillah masih ada lagi anak-anak yang mana siapa yang bekerja dengan saya, the younger generation who is slightly older than Huda lah kan. Yang jadi macam anak-anak saudara saya, they come to me instead of talking to their mom or to their aunties yang memang kira yang Pakistani ke Bangladeshi ke kan, diorang boleh bercakap dengan Aunty Mahmudah ni. Alhamdulillah. Mungkin sebab kita ni minoriti kat sini, dia rasa kalau cakap dengan kita dia ada trust kan. Jadi memang saya galakkan, bercakap lah, okay, meluahkan. So insyaAllah walau di mana pun kita berada, apa pun, mungkin kat Malaysia, kalau saya kan orang Melaka, saya rasa orang Melaka, so saya belum boleh pergi ke Kedah dengan tempat suami saya pun, saya rasa lain juga. Itu dah Malaysia je kan. Tapi kira bahasa kita lain. Yang apatah lagi kalau kita daripada Malaysia datang ke sini, ke UK ataupun daripada Malaysia ke Australia, memang berbeza. Jadi di mana pun kita berada, insyaAllah. Jadi saya rasa saya nak tutup sikit dengan slide saya yang terakhir. Sebab saya kalau bercakap ni saya susah nak stop, okay? Kalau Cikgu Wan boleh bagi saya slide tu, nanti before saya ni lah. Yang apa ni tadi saya ada siapkan, ada short slide. Sebab saya nak share, okay? Arwah almarhum ayahanda saya, dia suka, saya memang very close dengan dia lah, okay? Jadi itu yang saya harapkan kan, anak-anak saya pun boleh close dengan saya, walaupun kami ni dekat sini mungkin saya tak adalah garang sangat kan dengan anak-anak. Kan Umi tak garang kan? Udah Ibrahim mesti takut dia cakap tu. Okay, the last slide yang saya nak share ialah pantun ya. I am sure orang kat Malaysia tahu kan pasal pantun kan. Okay, ini daripada almarhum ayahanda saya. Dia doktor homeopati, pengasas, one of the pengasas homeopati Malaysia. Okay, Dr. Muhammad Noor. Okay. Pantun ni memang menjadikan saya satu semangat motivasi lah kat saya bila-bila saya tengah sedih ke apa benda. This is my reference lah, okay. Dia selalu saya cakap kat saya, okay. Okay, ni saya baca lah. Kalau benih sudah hampa, walau 1000 tahun hujan menimpa, walau dibolak di balik tanah berapa-apa, namun benih tetap tak jadi apa-apa. Tapi insyaAllah anak-anak ni semua benih yang bernas ya. Kalau benih sudah bernas, walau 1000 tahun ditimpa panas, walau digetus-digetas binatang ganas, namun benih tetap bertunas. InsyaAllah. Saya doakanlah mudah-mudahan semua-semua ni kan anak-anak yang hadir, cikgu-cikgu semualah kan, semua tenaga pengajar dan semua yang ada adalah benih yang bernas, benih yang dekat mana pun kita berada, kita boleh jadi benefit, kita boleh memberi manfaat kepada masyarakat kat situ. Kehadiran kita meringankan apa pun orang tengah hadapi. Kalau kita ada masalah apa pun, jangan jadikan masalah tu sebagai orang kata to bring us back. Macam pandemik ni kan, macam COVID. Alhamdulillah bagi saya dengan adanya pandemik ni, walaupun it is a problem, worldly global problem, dengan ni mana nak sangka saya dapat rapat balik dengan sahabat-sahabat saya, especially saya punya roommate saya yang tercinta, Cikgu Elina, Puan Elina dengan Puan Kamariah. Kami terus dapat buat meeting from time to time, dapat jumpa lagi, macam walaupun tak dapat jumpa physically, dapat juga jumpa virtually kan di alam maya. And also sebab saya kata kami menguruskan membantulah masyarakat sini dalam menguruskan madrasah dinamakan Al-Nur. Ibrahim panggil Mohd School. Sebab adanya pandemik ni, kami buat online classes macam you all lah kan? DPR ya, something like that. Jadi bila ada kan sekarang ni alhamdulillah, kalau dulu cikgu-cikgu yang selalunya kami kan semua volunteers kan yang menguruskan, yang mengajar di madrasah ni, kadang-kadang susah nak dapatkan, ada je weekend ada je visitor lah, guest lah, sakit lah, travelling lah kan. Sekarang bila ada online, di mana pun diorang ada, kelas online kena jalan juga kan. Ada hikmahnya pandemik ni. So apa yang saya nak cakap kan, apa pun kalau masalah kita, jadikan orang kata kan kita ada diagram tu kan, SWOT
yes,
opportunity, threats kan. Jadi kalau threats ataupun problem tu, apa pun kita hadapi, turn it around to make it as an opportunity. Turn it around sebagai something kita untuk move forward. Okay? InsyaAllah. Itulah. Saya pandai cakap je. Mungkin saya pun macam tu juga lah kan. Bila tengah problem tu, yang pening kepala. InsyaAllah. Okay, I think I better stop. Boleh I think cikgu Puan Mastura ada further questions.
Alright. Okay, insyaAllah kita teruskan lagi kita punya sesi pada petang ini. Okay, kita teruskan soalan seterusnya kepada Puan Kamariah. According to research, having a network or supportive relationships offers a lot of advantages. People with strong social support networks have better health, live longer, and experience a higher sense of well-being. And knowing people who can supply you with information, advice, and guidance, as well as tangible support, such as aid in times of uncertainty, are all advantages of having supportive relationship. This aspect of social support can be reassuring and increase your sense of safety. Okay, to Puan Kamariah, when you reside abroad, okay, who is your support system or network? Can you please share with us?
Okay, terima kasih Puan Mastura. So saya akan cerita based on saya datang sini ujung tahun 2001. So about 20 years ago. Macam saya cakap tadi, bila saya sampai, sebab saya expatriate dihantar daripada head office di Malaysia pada company Proton Cars Australia in Sydney. Jadi memang dah ada, in that sense dah ada network lah, dah ada saya company tu dah ada kat sini, and office mate saya pun yang kerja sama dengan saya di Shah Alam dulu dah ada kat sini. So bila saya datang tu, dia orang tunggu je lah saya datang untuk dia orang nak balik pula, sebab dia orang semua dah 3 years kat sini, dia orang semua nak balik, dah tak nak duduk sini lagi. So my friends too, he introduced me pada office mate macam suami saya ni. So that's the office mate. So we are in the same company. So even though not Malaysian, okay, listen. And also, he also has good relationship with, we call them Ma'an. So Ma'an is the short for Malaysian I think Malaysian Association of New South Wales. So yang ahli Ma'an ni, dia kita shortkan jadi Ma'an. I rasa tak sure sangat Malaysia ke apa, tapi kebanyakan ahli dalam ni, dia orang semua a lot of them are mixed marriages. Banyak tu Singaporean Chinese yang convert jadi Islam, dia kahwin dengan orang Melayu Singapore. So most of them migrated kat sini in the 70s. So dia orang dah duduk sini lama. So bila saya datang sini, it's very nice to see this kakak, kita panggil kakak dan abang, they are very very caring. Dia orang akan bawa, and Adam pun dah biasa dengan dia orang, sebab bila dia buat function, semua, they will all help, and you know, and Adam always there's one chef.
Well, can I say that I loved Malaysia before I loved Kamariah, because my aunt and Malaysia was so friendly to me. They treated me like family.
So they always have functions, and you know, so they will get the chef from one of the chef kita panggil Abang Sam. He's very different specialty satay. So that's where I find the support, because there's so many different families, and most of them dah duduk sini lama, tapi they also datang daripada Singapore. Masa dia orang duduk Singapore dulu, Singapore dengan Malaysia tak banyak different, bukan sama juga. And I found it really senang lah, sebab kita orang bila habis kerja je memang selalu lepak macam kat Malaysia. Selalu lepak, macam tak adalah kedai kopi kat sini, tapi kita boleh lepak rumah kawan-kawan. Pukul 3 pagi, 4 pagi borak-borak. So in the sense macam kat Malaysia juga. So so I found that really useful, and that's why macam you cerita tadi kan, kalau siapa-siapa nak datanglah, kita orang jumpa semua. I will give back what I got masa I younger, because you know at the end of the day we need to contribute back to the society kan, like we get back, you know, what goes around comes around. So that's the masa dekat Sydney dulu, Ma'an was really useful. So back about 10 years ago, my family decided to move to Newcastle. Newcastle tu my husband punya, ni ke kampung dia lah. Dia born at Newcastle. Newcastle ni is a very beautiful city. We've got lots of beaches, like you know, memang like I memang suka water views ni kan. So the reason kita move dekat Newcastle ni sebab Sydney dah terlampau traffic teruk sangat, terlampau busy.
Kuala Lumpur too much traffic, that's the sun.
So kita orang pindah sebab budak-budak nak start sekolah. Bila nak start sekolah, usually that's when so Australia punya culture, the culture kat sini is very much beach culture. So budak-budak ni bila masuk sekolah, dia masuk sekolah at the age of 6. So dia panggil kindy. So yang biasalah dia orang akan start, you boleh choose, tapi mostly you also send your kids untuk buat nippers. So nippers tu nickname ni untuk surf life saving. So every Sunday kita orang akan nanti pergi pantai, dia orang belajar training.
Yeah, like 8 a.m.
Pukul 8 pagi. Jadi kita orang ni, mak bapak ni pun kena masuk juga dalam air, walaupun winter kena masuk juga, sejuk-sejuk tu.
Very cool.
Tapi sebab kalau you tengok orang-orang putih datang Malaysia tu, dia semua pandai berenang sebab tu lah, sebab culture dia belajar. I hantar anak I ni, Omar ni, dia masuk swimming pool at the age of 6 months old. 6 bulan dah swimming pool untuk ajar. Memang dah culture kat sini.
Interesting kat situ. Kalau kita kat Malaysia ni kan 6 months tu saya rasa mungkin tak, orang kata tak confident lagi kot nak letak anak dalam air tu.
Dia Omar tu dia menangis-nangis tak nak, tapi memang semua orang buat macam tu. 6 bulan je dah kena masuk dalam air, dalam pool. Sebab lagi satu, sini banyak swimming pool. Lepas tu banyak budak-budak drown, budak-budak mati sebab dia orang tak pandai berenang kan. So I risaulah. I make sure the kids boleh berenang before they can walk.
Yeah, you have to learn how to swim.
Kamariah, how good can you swim? Hey, how good can you swim, Kamariah?
So macam I belajar swimming dekat Malaysia, tapi bila datang sini I memang kena swim all the time lah. So they all make fun of me because I'm not as strong as them. Tapi kalau compare dengan orang lain,
no, because we have really strong.
You jump in the water like a dolphin. Your feet.
Wow.
I need to answer the question.
Yeah, we have really strong grips and currents, and you know it's not for the faint-hearted.
Yeah, so like
we pull out plenty of tourists in like jeans and a t-shirt.
Yeah, so you all tengok tak Bondi Rescue?
Yes.
So I just veered off a bit. Kalau you all datang sini, just be very careful kalau masuk dalam laut tu sebab dia punya reefs current itu very strong. So that's why kita orang semua kena pandai swimming. Lagi satu, the network yang bila kita orang pindah sini, I mula-mula tak kenal siapa-siapa sangat. So I think the first few years memang I tak jumpa Melayu langsung. Memang I datang sini, I tukar kerja. So my friends are budak-budak ni punya parents lah. Mana-mana yang parents yang sama age kan. So those kindy kids yang punya parents, kebetulan masa tu ramai juga lah those yang migrated. So we've got friends from UK yang migrated from Wales. So dia bapa dia orang putih
India,
English, tapi mak dia dia Indian tapi grow up in Birmingham. So kita orang memang rapat lah. And then we've got another friend. She's from China.
Canada.
And then we've got another friend. She's from Canada.
Multicultural.
Multicultural. And then the other one too, she's local. Smith juga. So kita ni Smith family, like you know Smith. So yang tu pun Smith juga. So that's my friend dan masa tu. And because macam Mahmudah kata lah, bila you ada children, that's another avenue for you to actually have a network. So my friends masa tu semua parents of the children. Tapi semua orang ni lah, bukan orang Melayu. So it took a few years, I pergi masjid. So one day I ingatkan masjid tu tak operational sebab setiap kali I pergi tak buka kan. I tak tahu dia orang kunci most of the time, dia orang buka waktu semayang je. So one time tu I pergi, dia orang buat open house, barulah I jumpa orang Malaysia. Lepas tu dia orang beritahu I pasal WhatsApp group. WhatsApp pun baru recently kan. So that's really good. Using that social media, WhatsApp group tu I sekarang ni kenal lah semua orang. And then bila dia orang buat party ke, buat raya ke, bila nak makan memang seronok lah. Sebab sebelum ni makan tak ada. Kalau sebelum ni kalau kita orang beraya pakai baju baru, pakai baju kurung, there's no, all dressed up with nowhere to go. Sebab semua orang kat sini tak ada orang Islam, tak ada orang, you know, memang kita orang a few years memang I tak ada langsung orang Melayu, tak ada langsung orang Islam, tak ada. Tapi sebab I dah biasa duduk luar negeri dah. Sebab I left 1989, I balik Malaysia 1996 kot. So I left again in 2000. So I guess I haven't lived in Malaysia for a long time. So yes, dah biasa lah. Tak kisah tu. But still it's very nice. I was really happy bila I jumpa orang Malaysia sebab you know at the end of the day kita nak cakap sesama kita, nak makan makanan Malaysia, and then at the end of the day kita also macam nak tolong lah budak-budak yang muda sikit. Kebanyakan yang student, kebanyakan my kenalan kat sini ni semua students kat Newcastle Uni. Bila dia habis belajar, dia orang continue untuk buat untuk macam buat research, untuk funding. So a lot of my friends kat sini from Malaysia, they orang came to study in the Newcastle Uni, also from other university in Australia. So dekat sini sekarang ni, dia orang punya the system, you can apply to work in Australia, tapi dia orang bagi you duduk kat regional areas for the first 2 years.
Can you say dare to dream?
Can we stay on topic, please?
Okay.
Can we stay
My
on topic?
husband would like to say dare to dream when we get,
That's his one contribution.
like he would like to, say,
Wait, it's a big world. Yeah, please.
why don't you
Don't
say
go to
it?
Australia.
No, I want the students to dare to dream, travel the world. It's a huge world, and go wherever you can go. Take every opportunity, please.
And welcome to Australia, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, I think that is all. We'll go back to the host to go to the next questions. I think my kids are looking forward to answer the last question.
All right then. Okay, back to thank you very much Puan Kamariah, satu perkongsian yang sangat berguna ya kepada audience pada hari ini. Okay, back to Puan Mahmudah. Okay, being the top management in managing Al-Noor School in Aberdeen, as well as owning a business called One World Lingo, OWL. Okay, would you mind sharing with us on how tough it be to get work in foreign land based on your experiences? Silakan Puan.
Okay. My business tu sebenarnya very, orang kata kat sini, teeny weeny. Memang kecil sangatlah kan. But Alhamdulillah the facility-nya di sini kan. Because bagi saya macam tu lah juga kan, sebab daripada when I started dengan this small business ni, baru saya tahu actually senang dekat sini nak start a business. As long as you boleh register dengan HMRC, ada nama dia, okay lah, a bit simple lah. Jadi dapat support juga from, dekat sini ada business gateway, because dekat sini dia lagi suka kalau kita independent kan, jadi kita tak payah nak menyusahkan the government minta kerja ke whatever. But the moment kat sini kalau sebab kita ada PR kat sini, jadi kalau kata kita dah pernah kerja, kita tak kerja, kita kena register dengan job center tau. Jadi kita macam jadi masuk, orang kata macam masuk nursery balik, every week kena report dekat dia, kita pernah kerja tak, apa kerja kita dah apply, kenapa kita tak dapat, nanti kita akan ada advisor macam tu. Jadi dia bagilah kita sikit, dia panggil job seekers allowance, untuk kita cukuplah tambang nak naik bas kan, nak pergi office tu, something like that. Jadi maknanya kat sini. Then tapi jadi bila saya set up my own small business, my main client is NHS Grampian. Okay, jadi Alhamdulillah lah, dapatlah. Jadi saya dah work from home even before the pandemic. Jadi that is a part of the leeway, the flexibility yang untuk bekerja di sini. Okay, jadi bagi saya macam tu jugalah kan, bila kita ada kata susah nak cari kerja ke apa ke, ataupun sebab bila dah sampai certain age, malasnya kan nak kerja bawah orang kan, bila kerja sendiri ni relax lah sikit kan, dapat kerja from home. Jadi Alhamdulillah Allah bagi peluang, bagi jalan untuk saya buat kerja tu sikit-sikit. Jadi untuk weekday saya buat untuk bisnes saya kecil ni, dan Madrasah Al-Noor it is only operational or running during the weekends. Okay, so kita panggil weekend school jugalah sometimes. Sekarang dah ada juga madrasah di Aberdeen ni, Madrasah Al-Noor or School dah operated since 1984, way before saya sampai. Tapi bila anak-anak saya join the school, okay, because saya ni dulu law lecturer kan, law ni kita baca every single words, all the T have to be crossed, all the I's have to have the dots, right? So bila kita tengok, and as I said earlier on, kita nak datang sini sebab level saya datang sebagai untuk PhD, kena sit for IELTS kan. Level kena tinggi kan, the full is 8, kita kena dapat 6.57 kan. So almost perfect. Saya konon lah, perasan lah kan. Sekali saya cakap lah, memang dah berkarat semua-semua, okay. Jadi masa tu tengah tu, jadi bila anak-anak start sekolah, bila kita dapat surat kan, dia punya English dia, ya Allah, rasa nak ambil pen merah tu nak tanda semua-semua tau. So macam tak puas hati kan. Jadi masa itulah mulalah saya membantu volunteer dan alhamdulillah bila diperlukan, sebab alhamdulillah bagi saya macam itulah kan, kalau kata saya rasa tu kita cuba bagi penyelesaian. Diorang ada masalah, kita bantu. Diorang ada jalan buntu, kita cuba leraikan. Jadi bila dekat situ alhamdulillah, dan saya macam seronok lah juga nak cakap kan, orang Malaysia dekat sini kita selalu menjadi orang kata help to solve the situation. Kalau anything given to Malaysian, insyaAllah program berjalan bagus. Betul tak Ibrahim? Sudah. Dia kena agree lah dengan Umi dia. Dan apa ni? Kecil dah. Okay, apa ni, so bila di Al-Nur macam tu juga, jadi alhamdulillah okay, adanya Ibrahim dan Huda dekat Al-Nur sebenarnya bukan saya yang pilih dia all, okay. Saya memang kalau boleh kan, alhamdulillah lah dia all hadir di Al-Nur jadi student, tapi Ibrahim appointed as the youngest teacher masa tu, bukan saya yang nominate dia, ustaz dia. Huda pun dia jadi bahagian admin. Kalau sebenarnya dia bawah saya, dia lagi teruk lah sebab dia yang akan kena attack dulu dengan pengetua kan. Kalau tak buat apa-apa dia yang kena dulu. Kalau tu nanti bolehlah tanya dia kan pengalaman dia kerja dengan ni kan, sebab bila saya dulu saya pernah juga cover cikgu untuk anak saya yang sulung. Dalam kelas dia panggil Umi. Saya kata dalam kelas, I'm not your mom, I'm your teacher. Jadi terpaksa buat macam tu kan, sebab saya tak nak nanti orang kata oh sebab anak dia dapat leeway. No. Kalau dia sebab dia anak saya, dia lagi teruk dia kena daripada anak orang lain. Jadi apa ni, bagi saya macam itulah, apa ni, walaupun kami Malaysian kan, ataupun kita orang Melayu ni di Aberdeen ni, we are the minority in the minority. Kalau kita kata kita Muslim ni is the minority among the population, bayangkan kami Malaysia ni lagi yang kecil je, but we are very small numbers kat sini. However, okay, orang kata kalau katalah kita ni semangat kita ni nak membantu kan, jadi kita tu insyaAllah apa ni tu. Jadi alhamdulillah saya rasa dengan pengalaman saya di Malaysia sebagai pensyarah, saya pun pengalaman saya menguruskan asrama masa dulu, aktiviti saya yang saya tak pernah duduk diam masa saya jadi law student. Saya pernah chambering, I was called to the bar, saya can practice as a lawyer kalau balik Malaysia. Semua tu kan, jadi alhamdulillah lah saya cuba gunakan apa pun yang ada untuk manfaat masyarakat dekat sini. And alhamdulillah adalah nampaklah sikit-sikit, walaupun I wouldn't claim that is my work, because kalau tak ada teamwork, tak ada bantuan, tak ada kerjasama daripada cikgu-cikgu semua, tak jadi juga kan. Walaupun nanti saya macam syok-syok seorang lah, tapi alhamdulillah dia all semua bagi very good cooperation. Memang saya salute betul-betul, saya betul-betul respect dengan makcik-makcik lah, dengan sisters kat sini. Sebab ada tu cikgu-cikgu sini kan yang Pakistani ke Bangladeshi ke kan, yang dah jadi cikgu di Al-Nur for over 15 years. Boleh bayang tak? Dia orang datang every weekend. Sebab sekolah ni weekend aja tau. Dia orang datang, they sacrifice their weekends to contribute to the community. Jadi kalau saya kata, kalau dia all boleh kan, apatah lagi kita ni kan. Kalau saya tak pergi ke masjid, anak-anak saya, sebab kami ada ni, saya ada husband saya dengan anak-anak. Kita tak ada adik-beradik kita, tak ada saudara, tak ada mak saudara, tak ada macam orang Pakistan ni ke apa, dia orang big top community. Dia orang ada mak saudara, pak saudara, sepupu, apa benda semua dalam UK ni. Kita tak ada, kita macam kata sebatang kara, kita orang je lah. Jadi di masjid lah bagi saya, that is my family di Aberdeen. Alhamdulillah. Jadi dekat situ memang saya memang alhamdulillah, kalau katalah datang Aberdeen, kalau sesat di masjid, katalah minta tanya Sister Noor, Sister Mahmudah, insyaAllah kami ada akses direct dengan imam, kira kunci masjid kami pegang, alhamdulillah. Jadi macam tu lah kan. Jadi bagi saya, kalau katalah it's nothing, bukanlah kata nothing is impossible kan, semuanya dengan izin Allah kan. Jadi memang kena put effort lah, dan kita kena keterampilan, kita kena ke depan, kita kena sanggup sacrifice masa kita, dan macam mana pun bagi saya, sepanjang saya menguruskan, membantu madrasah Al-Nur, walaupun kebetulan nama dia Al-Nur, macam nama saya, orang kata oh is this your school Nur, bila yang kena dengan Mak Saleh kan, dengan poli-poli itu, kata, I wish it's my school, but it's not. I'm just one of the workers. I'm just one of the kan this is Noor ala Noor kan. Cahaya tu. Jadi insyaAllah, jadi apa ni, bagi saya sepanjang saya menguruskan, membantu dekat Al-Nur ni, memang barakahnya Masya Allah. Saya tak tahu nak cakap. Kalau apa-apa yang kami nak uruskan, macam Allah bagi jalan, memudahkan. Jadi memang saya tahu, memang bukan saya lah kan. Saya ni cuma sebagai orang kata the media je lah yang mungkin masa ni saya ada kan. Kalau saya tak ada pun mudah-mudahan anak-anak saya pun sekarang ada. Dan maybe kalau Huda dengan Ibrahim pun boleh share sikit apa yang diorang, what they have gone through lah dekat Al-Nur. Saya
saya ada soalan juga actually untuk Huda. Okay, tadi Pak Mahmudah ada maklumkan bahawa Huda ni dia part of the admin team for Al-Nur School. Okay, so kita nak dengar daripada Huda ni experience dia, okay, bekerja di bawah Al-Nur School ni di sana.
Sorry, can you say that again?
Yeah, we would like to hear, we heard that you are part of the admin team for Al-Nur. Can you please share with us your experience, working there in Al-Nur?
Okay, inshallah. So working at Al-Nur, it's how's the best way to say it? It's rewarding in a sense, and sometimes you feel a bit like the parents can be a bit difficult. A handful, that's a nicer way to say it. But it's really nice in the sense that you really do feel like you're giving back to the community after being brought up in the community. It gives you a chance to meet other younger Muslim kids, especially the ones that want to volunteer. Like this year, alhamdulillah, we got a lot of new volunteers and also eager to learn and so eager to also give back to the community in their own way. And it's kind of a nice thing to sort of set the scene for more kids to like think more about the community, think more about the bigger picture, and sort of be an example. And I think it's nice, alhamdulillah, that give me a second. I think it's nice that you also get to have a good relationship with all the teachers. And I guess basically it's kind of funny because the teachers are all like much older, but we're like friends with all the teachers. They just kind of come to you if they want to like talk about something that's not class or like about class. They just come like, I just feel like letting things off my chest, and then they tell me and I'm like, oh, okay, then we can like help each other. It's very nice back and forth, and it's really nice in this also because some of the teachers taught me when I was little, when I also attended the school. So if you think about it, they taught me, and now we're working together, and now I'm actually helping them make their classes better. It's a bit weird when I think about it like that, but at the same time, it's very rewarding.
You don't feel it really.
Yeah, you don't feel it in the moment, but when you sit back and think, you're like, oh, this is my teacher. It's a bit interesting. But alhamdulillah, it's really nice, especially to transition from the student role to the co-worker / community, like mutual community member. So like they see me on their level now, and it's kind of nice to be taken seriously like that, I think.
I'm feeling connected.
You are all
in the community.
Yeah, thanks to me. Yeah, I am old. But yeah, it's like a nice connection with the community.
Yeah. All right. Okay. And then Puan Mahmudah also shared with me that Ibrahim, you have 15 private students in your tutorial class, if I'm not mistaken. Can you please share more about your experience teaching these private students?
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah, I can actually say I have more than 15 now, but it's okay. I think it's definitely a mix because it's both challenging on top of university, but just as I was talking about with my sister, it's having that rewarding, feeling like you're doing more than what other people could offer, Of course, the majority of my students are Muslim, and actually not the majority, all of them are Muslim. Don't about to say majority. And even though I teach them as well, sometimes I'll ask them things about, oh, so how was school? And try to relate things to them just to, just to allow us to connect, and even to just become a bit closer when it comes to teaching. Because a lot of the students here, they feel more better connection when it comes to knowing who their teacher is, right? And alhamdulillah, I feel like that a lot of the students have that connection as someone that also grew up here with them as well. And so there will be times that, just as you asked about what's it like, there will be times that they'll ask me, oh, teacher, what was it like when you did this when you were in school? And they would ask me things about Islamophobia as well, and how did I deal with certain issues. For example, one of my students, they didn't call it bullying, but when they described it to me, they went through bullying themselves. And I have to admit that it was quite hard for me to speak to them about it. Not really in terms of thinking about it. It was more of dealing with it, because when I was in school, especially when it came to being a Muslim, I know people will have certain views about Islam, and what I would do when I was in secondary school, I don't know if because I had confidence because my older siblings were also in the school, I would tell them, I say, if you have any questions about Islam, don't search up online. I want you to speak to me about it. It's about having that confidence as an individual. So alhamdulillah, I feel like as a teacher, that's what I hoped to not only just instill the Islamic adab and the Islamic akhlaq, but also to try encourage them as a young Muslim as well, inshallah. So alhamdulillah, I'm blessed because alhamdulillah, even the students that I have, they were, one parent recommended me to another parent, another parent recommended me to another, and they really did tell me that it's that difference that I can bring about when we're teaching, right? Inshallah. I really do hope that the students that are growing up here, I mean, I say here, but in a Western country, are able to have that role model. So I would even like to open up if they want to speak to us about it, because there are things that we can relate with them on a much closer level, because we've been through that. You were there, exactly where you guys are. Alhamdulillah. I mean, I like to think we made it. So yeah.
All right, a very great sharing from Ibrahim and Huda, and as well as Puan Mahmudah. Okay, sekejap lagi kita akan tanya lagi soalan ni, kita akan buka soalan kepada Puan Mahmudah, Ibrahim as well as Huda. But kita ada soalan terakhir untuk Puan Kamariah as well as her children there. All right. Okay, as financial accountant and at the same time a mother of two wonderful children, would you mind sharing with us how COVID-19 pandemic has affected education system in Australia generally and specifically to your children? Okay, all right. To Puan Kamariah.
Okay, so I will only just touch it briefly, and I'll let these two children to explain because they go to the school. For me, it hasn't been much different for me, obviously, because with the COVID-19, we're lucky because we've got like 4 bedrooms here. So I stay in this room and work from home here. Isabella in her room, and Jeremy, instead of his room, he decided to use the living room. So far we are okay. We with the lockdown, we all study from home. We all have privacy. We all have our headphones. My husband is frontliner, so he has to go to work every day. The impact for me is not much different, but there are, it's like double-edged sword. Like I actually enjoyed having these children with me, sebab bila kerja full time, kita always lose out on raising our children sebab kita kerja tiap hari and we don't see them petang. Tapi bila sejak COVID-19 ni, I actually enjoy dia orang ada kat rumah dengan I. Kita boleh lunch sekali, boleh morning tea sekali semua. Tapi itulah the challenges, sebab kita kerja full time. Dia orang ni, and mula-mula tu they need help untuk kita tolong dia orang buat online. And sebab I kerja kat organisation NGO that help with the, we call it marginalized people, the disabled, foster children, domestic violence, all those. So, and they also provide counselling services to other people. Sebab kita punya organisation, dia orang memang buat lah video untuk parents, semua parents, dia buat video, and it's surprising how so many parents are so stressed out. I know kat Malaysia, so many parents are so stressed out sebab dia orang nak kena ajar dia orang punya children, nak kena monitor the children. Lepas tu dia orang nak kena kerja juga. So kita orang punya, sebab my organisation specialise juga in counselling kan, dia orang cakap don't worry too much about it. You have your own work to do, you concentrate on your work and give a break to the children. You tolong sikit, tapi if they don't do it 100%, they don't do well, don't worry too much about it, because this thing will pass, and you know, at the end of the day, look after your children relationship dengan you and yourself. Jangan stress out sangat. So many parents yang stress out, they couldn't wait to send the kids back to school sebab they cannot deal with how nak ajar dia punya children to online. So that's from me. Macam tu lah, I enjoy having them, but you know, mula tu I pun stress juga sebab dia orang ni kan, lama tu I just let go je, dia orang buat apa dia orang suka. So I let the who wants to speak first?
Oh, sure.
Okay, Isabella Safia, kita panggil Bella.
Well, it's going to be in English, so forgive me for that. But for me, lockdown it's been really hard for me because I'm a very social person. And already, you know, isolation for a lot of young people in Australia, especially, you know, we're having a mental health crisis, depression, anxiety. A lot of people are really struggling right now. So I'd say, like, with school closures, for me, it's been 8 weeks, I think, without going to normal school. And I know it's been longer in other places in the world, but I think, especially for me, it's gotten to a point where it's a little bit too much for me, especially spending all my time with Jeremy and Mum. It's become a little tedious for me personally. But, you know, I think it's like I've personally not been, I have a computer, I can do my work. My school has been trying really hard to make it less stressful because my school is already very academic orientated. So being at home, it's been harder for that. But I just think, you know, like overall, I have still been able to contact my friends like via social media, and I have the avenues to do that. So I think for other people who maybe don't have that, it's been probably harder on them. But still, you know, it's not been perfect. It's, you know, terrible, and I hate it. But so. Jeremy, what about you?
Yeah, so school, yeah, it's a bit different. It's just like a lot of just staring at screens and stuff, and there's not as much social interaction as that you would have been at school. But I know there's like social media, but it's kind of not the same. But like actually seeing a face and actually having a conversation, it's just like being able to do things with people. So it's just it's weird now, but it's alright. It's just, yeah.
Oh, actually, we're going back on Monday, so officially this is our last day of official online school. So happy about that.
I was going to say that if the kids don't mention it, I was going to say, you know, so how do you feel about going to
They're very excited to go back.
Yeah, never been so excited to go back to school. But we have really strict rules in Australia. It's mask inside, outside. We have seating, so it's not. We have to have really, really far, like 1.5 meters. It's been really strict. Because in New South Wales, the state we're in, there's been thousands and thousands of cases. So going back to school, we have a lot of rules and regulations, and it's still very excited to go back. But people doing the final exams, like the HSC is your final year 12 exam, those people as well have been going back and they have to do their exams. So that's been, you know, harder to do.
Yeah, with Australia, we are a bit lucky. Everyone has been able to do their exams. I understand that Malaysia had to delay their SPM equivalent, isn't it?
Yes, correct.
Yeah. Well, ours delayed as well, like,
but not as much.
Yeah, so usually you'd already be finished year 12 by this point. usually you'd be getting your marks and this is the time where you have 1 semester off. But because of COVID, they've had to push it in a couple of the states. So instead, they're taking their final exams a couple months after. And it's been kind of difficult because this exam is worth like, it's the entire culmination of your high school career. So
How old are you, Isabella? How old are you, Isabella?
I'm 13, so I'm in year 8, and he's 15, and he's in year 10.
Yeah.
Oh, you are
So
you
no
are
exams, full exams, but
So we opened up. Is it last Monday or?
yeah, we came out of lockdown a week ago, I think.
About a week ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of things are opening up now, and a lot of things that were delayed, like Jeremy's studying his
Work.
Yeah, I got
His-
work and stuff like that.
Yeah, so Jeremy's doing life, what do you call it? Lifeguard, like life-saving kind of thing. So he's very excited. Tomorrow he's going to spend 2 days at the pool doing life-saving course. So yeah, one day.
Yeah. Me, the whole family fully vaxxed. Got vaccinated yesterday, so that's good as well. In Australia, we have the vaccine finally got out.
Yeah, we're a bit slow compared to Malaysia, but you know,
Well,
because a lot of other people haven't got vaccinations at all. It's very hard, but because we do have friends, the one that I told you just now that
she hooked us up with a vaccine
that migrated migrated from Wales in the UK. They work as a manager in the mental health, and so we're able to actually, when they have access those, they'll call people who are family and friends to go who are on the waiting list, and so we got them. I had my 2-3 days ago. So
yeah, but there's been a lot of issues with the government and vaccine rollout.
yeah, I think there's a lot of cock out here in Australia about the vaccine.
Yeah, we've
It's
had
like,
we've had multiple premiers been taken down for corruption. We've had political changes a lot, but this lockdown has brought out some sort of political fire back. So you could say that's a positive thing for some people. Young people in politics now.
Yes, Isabella's quite passionate about the social change, injustice system. So it's like Black Matters before they were really into
Black
it.
Matters.
actually, there's a big difference to me between Malaysia, Australia, or Aberdeen in terms of how the children react. What we hope in Malaysia later on, that our children here in Malaysia will be more independent. I believe my friends here, teachers here, do agree that our children here are more dependent on us, on teachers, on their family, on everything. Like we have to spoon feed them. So actually this exposure, this sharing session is very good for our students, so that they should be able to open up more, that they should be more confident. They know what they can get in their life. So I believe that this sharing should open up their minds, that if you want something, you should go for it. And another thing is sistem Malaysia ni, PIBG di Malaysia ni tidak begitu kuat lah, di mana kerjasama atau support daripada ibu bapa terhadap aktiviti sekolah tu memang agak kurang lah berbanding dengan luar negara kan. Semuanya macam, kalau PIBG tu lebih kepada cikgu lah yang buat sendiri saya rasa. Parent tu hanya datang untuk menghadiri mesyuarat, mungkin aktiviti-aktiviti yang rasmi saja. Tapi untuk sama-sama menjalankan aktiviti tu di Malaysia sangat-sangat kurang lah. Mungkin dia lebih terselah di tempat-tempat tertentu. Saya percaya itulah. Tapi di sekolah kita masih berusaha supaya PIBG, maksudnya sumbangan dari ibu bapa tu lebih baik lagi. Okay, you can have back the floor, Mas Surah.
Okay, terima kasih Puan Elina. Okay, kita dah sampai ke soalan yang terakhir iaitu kepada Puan Kamariah tadi. And then kita akan buka soalan kepada audience as well as Danish, if wakil pelajar kita kalau dia nak tanya soalan boleh bertanya kepada Huda, Ibrahim, Bella as well as Jeremy. Okay. Juga kita buka kepada audiens kita pada hari ini untuk bertanyakan apa-apa soalan mengenai living in another country, supaya orang kata apa, pengalaman yang real ni, the real experience ni very meaningful ya, untuk kita jadikan panduan bila kita nak berangkat ke negara orang ataupun kita plan untuk tinggal di negara orang. Okay, saya buka soalan kepada audiens dan juga kepada wakil pelajar kita sekiranya ada. Silakan. Okay, kita
kalau sementara tunggu tu boleh tak saya nak tambah sikit?
Boleh. Silakan Puan Mahmudah.
Macam Puan Elina mention lah tadi kan tentang involvement parents kan di sekolah. Saya pun memang macam itulah juga. Di sini pun sebenarnya it needs a lot of push untuk dapatkan parents untuk membantulah kan. Tapi bila yang ke depan tu, sebab memang saya involve sebab masa anak-anak saya di primary school, dia all pergi ke Roman Catholic School. Jadi saya tak senang duduk lah sebab walaupun Roman Catholic School ni cikgu-cikgu dia very highly disciplined, budak-budak memang very strict as compared to the other local council schools. Jadi saya involvekan diri saya sebagai helpers untuk tolong di library sebab itu saya nak tahu kan apa yang dia all bagi pada anak-anak kita kan. Other than that, saya pun volunteer jadi parent helpers untuk school visits. Jadi bila school visits ni, saya rasa saya pun sama dapat belajar sebab the school visits, they all buat school trips memang very educational. Kita dapat pergi tengok macam for example untuk belajar pasal burung. Okay, dia orang pergi pada kumpulan the bird protection. Apa dia udah panggil? The RPBS, I can't remember nama dia.
The reservoirs or the reserves? The animal reserves.
Animal reserves, ya. So kita pergi tengok macam mana dan kita tengok macam mana burung tu migration kan. Lepas tu dia orang pergi visit to the Maritime Museum, pergi visit to the Highlander Museum. Jadi kalau kita pergi sendiri kita tak dapat exposure. Bila pergi dengan school trips, dia all ada workshop, ada macam-macam. Jadi saya pun dapat tengoklah budak-budak ni buat. Jadi kita pun dapat idea macam mana kita nak interact dengan anak-anak kita. And satu lagi homework ya. Dekat sini, sekolah dekat sini, diorang kalau pergi sekolah masa my mother selalu datang sini lah. Bila datang dia duduk 6 months, jadi dia tengok budak-budak ni pergi sekolah. Dia kata budak-budak ni belajar ke dah pergi sekolah sebab bag diorang macam folders keping aja. Lepas tu lunch bag diorang lagi berat daripada bag diorang. Sebab buku diorang semua dekat sekolah. Kalau diorang bawa balik homework masa sekolah rendah, macam kami ni the Asian parents ni sampai kena warning dengan cikgu. Jangan streskan sangat anak-anak dengan homework. Jangan stress dengan dia orang more than 1 hour. Kita mana boleh kan, selagi dia tak siap homework, selagi tu kita drill. Dia orang tak bagi sebab dia kata budak-budak ni primary school, tapi itu saya tak ikut sangat lah. Jadi selagi dia orang tak habiskan homework, selagi tu dia tak boleh leave dia orang punya ni lah sampai tu kan. Sebab dia orang tu. Jadi alhamdulillah lah. Jadi memang different sikit dia orang punya exposure and dia orang memang banyak bagi dia orang ni independent kan. Jadi macam maybe Huda dengan Ibrahim tak mention sebab dia orang pun pernah jadi school student council. Huda nak share sikit pasal yang student council. Jadi macam mana they get the student untuk jadi more independent. Dan kita pun macam adalah macam kita dekat MRSM Elin, kita macam badan wakil pelajar and things like that kan. Dekat sini. Tapi ni di sekolah biasa. Okay, di sekolah biasa tu dah ada. This is because anak-anak saya tak pergi boarding school lah kan. Jadi dia pergi sekolah council biasalah under the city council. Jadi alhamdulillah lah the exposure yang dia orang dapat memang itu. Dan kami bila ada parents evening, bila dia orang masuk sekolah menengah, saya involve lagi. Saya involve lagi sebab nak tahu juga kan, bila saya involve saya dapat tahu dululah the prestasi sekolah tu macam mana. Kita dapat first information lah. Jadi macam tu lah bagi saya, kalau parents yang nak ini, they all kena involve. Jadi bila kita involve, jadi kita tahu anak-anak kita, jadi dia orang pun tak boleh nak goreng lah kita kan balik rumah. Kalau bila parents evening tu dia orang tak boleh nak mengelak lah, kita akan jumpa cikgu dia, memang akan tahu apa masalah dia semua. Jadi kita ada close interaction dengan cikgu. Itulah bagi saya, memang parents kena involve. InsyaAllah lah, mudah-mudahan di Malaysia pun akan ada the change paradigm shift lah, insyaAllah.
Okay, terima kasih kepada Puan Mahmudah. Juga dekat sini, di sini saya ingin bertanya kepada Puan Mahmudah as well as Aida Huda or Ibrahim. Okay, di Scotland, di sana terdapat satu program yang dinamakan Gap Year. Okay, so boleh tak terangkan lebih lanjut tentang program tersebut untuk anak-anak di Malaysia ni, especially dekat Reza ni, tahu lebih mendalam tentang program ni.
Okay, insyaAllah. So I'm actually on a gap year right now.
Alright.
Lepak ya.
That's what Umi says. Lepak year. So most kids will either take a gap year after they finish secondary school, so before they go to university, or after they finish university and they don't want to go straight into a job or straight into postgrad, they want to take some time off. So I think in Scotland and the UK, there's a lot of emphasis on everything. There's a lot of things available, so you can just take your time, which is what I'm doing. So for some kids, before they go to university, they choose to work for a year. Some kids choose to take that time off to do some self-study. Some kids choose to just do nothing. And it's how do I explain it? So it's a lot of emphasis on you don't need to rush. Like I think there's a lot of, in our culture sometimes it feels like you need to have this done by this age, this done by this age. You know, you've got like a checklist of things. But for other people, it's nice to recognize that you can just step back and you're like, wait, I don't need to get stuff done like a checklist. I can take my time. Life isn't rushing, you know, like
approach it healthily.
Yeah, you can approach it healthily rather than burning yourself out before you hit 30, you know, and then like not enjoying anything else anymore. This one, like you can take a step back, find a thing to enjoy, then go back when you're like feeling better and you have the energy, you have the motivation. And when you do like that, you tend to work a lot better, I think. So things like that. I know a lot of my friends have also taken gap years. So when you go to university, you'll find a lot of people, they might be your age, they might be older than you, they might be younger than you. You can, and it's quite nice because you're surrounded by all these different people because they have all these different experiences, and I think that's a good thing. I personally am pro gap year.
So the gap year will take off about a year for you to go to another country or just serve in your country?
It depends on what you want to do. So some people will spend it abroad, working abroad, or just like some people go on holiday for a year.
Volunteering. They do volunteering.
Volunteering.
Which kind of country? Like, is it third world country or the same like your country like you for you to do your gap year?
Or it's up to you. It's up to you.
All right then.
So some people will choose to go to third world country to build schools. Some people will, or like, you know, volunteer. Some people will stay at home and work at home, save money up that way. And some people will just go abroad, I guess.
Yeah, and take more experiences.
And get more experiences to go. Because also you find in the UK there's a lot of emphasis on getting experience. So some people, if they have their university, if you have a university degree or you've got accepted into university, there's no stress then. You've already got your confirmation of where you're going to go after the year. So you can do whatever you want. So there's like, you can gain more experience before you go to university in the workforce. And then that looks good on your CV. Then you can say, I took a gap year so I can gain more experience, because actually a lot of places prefer experience rather than just good grades.
And they would also prefer mature applicants as well. Some people, they need that additional year or two to get themselves mentally prepared for the lifestyle of university, which can be very taxing for some people, especially when you come straight from school or once you just finish university to go back into further education.
Yeah, I also think that university, I don't know if I don't know what the school culture is like in Malaysia. I can't actually remember, but in secondary school, you got hand fed a lot. You got a lot of help. But university, you have to ask for help, and it's a bit of a jump. It's like I guess you could say like a culture shock.
Yeah.
It's a lot of independent. You have to learn how to be able to ask for yourself, how to think for yourself. It's literally the lecturers will just be like, okay, this is your lecture, off you go. And if you don't ask for help, that's on you. If you ask for help and they don't help, it's still on you, and stuff like that.
All right. Okay, thank you very much. Maybe after this one, Elena can collaborate with university in Scotland for gap year program in Reza, maybe.
Maybe.
Alright, okay. Kalau kita tengok dekat skrin kita, kita ada satu soalan ya daripada Umi Au. Okay. Nak tanya, kalau belajar di Australia atau Scotland boleh kerja part time tak selepas tamat? Peluang pekerjaan di sana bagus tak? Okey, kita open soalan ni kepada Puan Kamariah. Boleh?
Boleh.
Alright.
Saya tengok ramai student dekat sini yang kerja lepas habis study. Kebanyakannya memang stay dekat sini. Dia orang kat Newcastle Uni ni banyak dia orang dalam medical profession. So there could be ada yang doktor, ada yang buat
nurses and radiologists.
Radiologists apa semua. So kebanyakannya memang dia orang stay. Dia orang habis kat sini, dia orang continue kerja. And macam saya cakap tadi, dekat Australia memang dia sebab kekurangan skill, kekurangan penduduk. Jadi one of the way dia orang dapatkan orang is by using the skill force. You kena ambil, dia ada dia punya sistem lah, you kena isi. So masa I isi borang, masa tu the one that they needed most were nurses. You don't have to be a professional. It depends on what is the shortage of occupation kat sini at that time. So macam so the answer is yes. Masa you student, I rasa I'm not really sure so many of them kerja ke tidak, but from what I've seen, that's no issue. You boleh kerja dekat sini. Kalau masa student, I'm not so sure whether dia orang kerja legally ke tak, tapi most of them kerja the proper kerja, and definitely after you habis, they call it the bridging visa. You can get bridging visa, which is like
your credentials.
Yeah. So from student tu dia bridge untuk dapat tapi the first 2 years you must be prepared untuk dia orang hantar to not the capital city tapi regional areas. Macam area I ni, Newcastle ni kira regional areas. Also there's Adelaide plus a few others. So you won't get Sydney or Melbourne, Perth, you won't get that because semua orang nak di situ. You will serve in regional areas for 2 years at least. After that, then you boleh choose kat mana you nak pergi. So welcome.
Okay. Terima kasih Puan Kamariah. Okay, so kita tunggu seterusnya. Jika sekiranya ada lagi soalan, kita boleh terus bertanya ya kepada panel kita pada hari ini.
Yes.
Okay.
One of my classmates just asked, he wants to know what are the external obstacles to moving abroad and how do I plan to deal with them?
Wow.
External obstacles to moving abroad.
Yes.
Isn't that
money first.
Well, for me, maybe this is more appropriate to Puan Mahmudah because I've never had any. For me, it's very much not my decision to move. I went first as a student, came back to Malaysia, and then got sent by my company as an expatriate, and then got sent here. So I guess there is no active decision on my part to go and move abroad. So I think it's
there's a lot of obstacles though. You got money and passport and trying to get a job.
No, I don't know, but there's no obstacle for me. For Mahmudah,
I'd say for normal people, yes, there is a million reasons not to do it. But still, you should do it.
Mungkin Puan Mahmudah nak menjawab persoalan yang Inish tadi.
Okay, external obstacles ya. Kalau macam tadi kan bila dia tanya pasal mencari peluang pekerjaan, kalau student di sini yang saya tahu UK sekarang ni they are tightening the immigration law, okay, the rules. Kalau that can also be one of the external obstacles lah kan. Jadi as I said lah, dekat sini one thing of the advantage duduk sini, kita consumer still ada bargaining power. In a way what I can say is that kalau kata kita ada 10 pound, insyaAllah kalau as a student, kalau dia pandai jimat, they can survive for a week. You know, if dia dapat kerja part time, saya rasa kalau tak silap saya, part time kalau you are a full time student, you can only work not more than 20 hours. But bear in mind, minimum wage is about 8 pounds something, okay, per hour. Jadi kalau you pandai simpan duit, memang boleh simpan lah. Betul, kalau kadang student Malaysia boleh simpan duit buat balik Mercedes. Kerja part time, jadi cleaner ataupun kerja dekat McDonald, things like that, okay. External obstacles yang lain yang kalau kita kata macam tu lah, kalau challenges dari segi discrimination, dari segi racism. Kalau di Aberdeen, for example, if you suffer any kind of discrimination, kita memang ada outlet. For example, you can report it. Itu up to you whether you want to go and proceed. Jadi, diorang akan follow up. Macam saya cakap tadi, kalau berlaku ada insiden dalam bas, diorang ada kamera, polis akan sambung, and then up to you whether you want to go to the court untuk saman orang tu ataupun untuk charge orang tu lah. Other than that, external obstacles dari segi financially, for example, that is one of the thing, kalau kita datang sini, university will be a bit strict in terms of your fees payment. Sebabnya, okay, semalam saya bertembung lah, kebetulan saya ada di masjid semalam untuk membantu kami ada buat program preparing of kafan lah, things like that kan. Saya dah lama tak pergi ke masjid sangat sebab since COVID. Bolehkan saya dekat masjid semalam, tiba-tiba ada satu grup rombongan orang daripada Malaysia solat masa tu tahu. Jadi walaupun dia luar waktu semayang, sebab dia boleh semayang jamak kan. Kita tengok dia pun terkejut ada orang Melayu kat situ kan. Jadi kami pun cakap. Jadi one of the things yang dia tanya saya kan, macam mana. Jadi apa yang saya nak cakap kan, dekat sini, kalau katalah, apa yang tadi saya nak cakap tadi? Saya ingat lah. Bila kita nak kerja kan, jadi bila bekerja tu, sebab saya kata jadi the rules jadi ketat dekat sini sebab orang dulu-dulu yang mana balik, dia orang tinggalkan not so good record. Okay, jadi bila sebab macam tu, for example kat sini nak beli kereta tak mahal sangat tau. You can even buy like masa zaman like if you are talking about 10-15 years ago, used car you can get less than 1,000 even. Jadi apa yang student-student ni akan buat, dia orang beli kereta ni, dia orang bawa barang dia orang sampai dekat airport dan tinggalkan kereta tu. Faham tak? Jadi dah jadi burden kan untuk orang nak keluarkan kereta tu. And then for example, dia orang ambil credit card, dia orang belanja dan dia orang tak bayar, dia orang balik Malaysia, dia orang bank tak dapat nak kerja dia orang. For example jadi because of all these things akan jadi obstacle untuk the new students. Sekarang nak buka account bank dah jadi susah. Dia really need a little bit, bukanlah susah, I mean a little bit more lah paperwork. Then kalau nak dapat rumah ke apa benda macam tu. Jadi these are the obstacles. Jadi saya sarankan lah kalau katalah datang, janganlah tinggalkan all these things sebab the impact will be for the future people. Jadi kita yang ni lah, jadi benda-benda macam tu. Jadi tapi kalau you have all the paperwork, everything, insyaAllah, I think not really ni. Whether you want to stay longer ke ni, law dekat sini dari segi untuk kerja, untuk dapat work permit ke whatever, I tell you the UK government is very creative. Dia akan tukar every 2 years kot. Ada aja. Even the form kan, you cannot just nak recycle, orang tu apply, boleh dapat, kita pakai. Tak boleh. You kena go and check balik the website, download. Sebab sometimes ada satu je paragraph yang dia tukar. And because of that, your application tak lepas. Faham tak? So, memanglah bunyi macam takut lah juga kan. Tapi insyaAllah there are other ways lah untuk go through it lah kan. Tapi kebanyakannya pelajar-pelajar yang datang kat sini, banyaknya balik lah kan. Kami ni antara the exceptional circumstances yang stay on. Dan inilah yang sampai hari ni masih lagi dekat sini.
Alright.
Okay, I think itulah kan yang dapat kita share hari ni.
Okay, thank you so much Puan Mahmudah. Kalau kita nak berkongsi perkongsian tentang living in another country ni, kita memang panjang sangat kan, memang sangat menarik. Tapi masa sangat mencemburui kita. Okay, di Malaysia sekarang pukul 7, di Australia mungkin pukul 8 I think.
10.
Pukul
10.
10. Pukul 10.
Wah.
Kalian pukul berapa sekarang?
That's why my kids apologize. My son is punya
It's
sebab
okay.
dia
He's
besok
sleepy already.
Okay.
dia kena pool masuk swimming
Yeah.
besok 2 hari.
Okay then.
Whole
Okay, thank you
day.
very much. Okay, we have come to the end of our sharing session. Thank you very much, Puan Noor Mahmudah, Puan Kamariah, and thank you everyone for attending today's sharing, especially kepada Puan Elina yang menyediakan platform pada hari ini untuk kita merapatkan ukhuwah antara Puan Mahmudah, Puan Kamariah, dengan SMK Datuk Haji Muhammad Reza ni. Semoga perkongsian ini menjadi platform ataupun kita panggil ukhuwah antara kita satu sama lain. Jika pelajar kita dapat orang kata ke sana suatu masa nanti, diharapkan dapatlah Puan Kamariah dan Puan Mahmudah melihat-lihat mereka di sana, jika mereka kontak Puan Mahmudah dengan Puan Kamariah lah. Okay, on behalf of SMK Datuk Haji Muhammad Reza and our panelists, thank you for joining us today and have a great rest of your day. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you everyone.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.